Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais with another weekly wrap up for the Yakking Show. And this is the week ending 14th of March, 2025. So, how are you today, Kathleen?
Oh, I'm doing great, Peter. Thank you. And thank you also very much for tuning into our show. We so appreciate having you.
Yeah, that's great. And we've got a boast. We've had a couple of days of warm weather and sunshine. What a change, eh? The
Oh, what
snow's
a
melting.
treat.
It's amazing. Anyway, Kathleen, do you want to dive straight into your health thing that you've uncovered today?
I will, Peter. And unfortunately, I have a little bit of bad news for those that have enjoyed their alcohol consumption, because that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is another article from Dr. Mercola, and we will provide the link to the full article in this video. But yeah, we're talking about the causal link between alcohol consumption and cancer. Have you
Hmm.
heard about this one, Peter?
No, I've always been a bit concerned about excessive alcohol consumption, but I didn't know there was a direct link.
Yeah,
So let's hear it. Let's hear it.
did you know that alcohol consumption is one of the leading preventable causes of cancer, second only to tobacco and obesity?
Is that
And
right, eh?
yeah,
Wow.
that's right. A report reveals that even moderate drinking, and what they mean by moderate is defined as one drink daily, increases the risk of cancers such as breast and mouth. Alcohol consumption is linked to, in fact, seven different types of cancers, Peter,
Wow.
including breast, liver, colorectal cancers, and even small amounts of alcohol consumption can increase the risk. So,
Wow.
I knew I was going to flub the pronunciation of this word. Acetaldehyde is a toxic byproduct of alcohol metabolism, and it directly damages, they say, DNA and promotes tumor development, making alcohol a significant carcinogen. It doesn't matter if it's beer, wine, or spirits, the carcinogenic effect remains the same across all types of alcoholic beverages. So,
Wow.
alcohol-related cancers shorten lives by an average of 15 years, Peter.
15 years. Wow.
15 years. So reducing or quitting alcohol leads to measurable decreases in cancer risk, with oral and esophageal cancers showing a 50% or greater reduction after 20 years of abstinence.
Wow.
So they say here that public awareness of alcohol's role in cancer is alarmingly low. It's true
Mm.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't often hear of cancer of alcohol relating back to cancer, but
No, it's normally the big scare is cirrhosis of the liver, right? That's the one
right,
that's always you always hear
correct.
about.
So fewer than half of Americans recognize it as a risk factor for colorectal cancer. So there's, we have to be mindful of that. Adopting healthier habits, it says, such as eliminating alcohol, significantly reduces your cancer risk and overall health, improves your overall health, rather. So the idea that red wine is good for you is a myth.
It's a myth.
Yep, it says while a red wine contains small amounts of antioxidants like resveratrol,
Mhm.
the levels are too insignificant to counteract the cancer-causing effects of alcohol. So there you have it,
Is that
Peter.
right?
Yeah,
Oh dear. So all of us. I'll tell you about my drinking habits in a moment. But all of us and those who were thinking they were doing well by drinking red wine, it's not the case. Eh? We're running more risk. So I got to tell you that in my youth, which was many, many years ago, I did at times drink to excess because I served in the military, and it seems to be one of the hazards. But once I got married and had kids, I cut right back on my alcohol. Then I had a period in the corporate world where I business lunches,
mhm.
but for certainly for 20 years, I've hardly drunk any alcohol. This year, I know I've had one small whiskey. That's all I've had this year.
Wow.
A very good friend of mine, who shall remain nameless, gave me a bottle of red wine for Christmas, and that is still sitting in the pantry. So it hasn't been opened since Christmas. So
You're kidding me, Peter. Oh, wow.
haven't waiting for a special occasion. Thank you, but yeah, if I drink two or three beers a year and two or three whiskeys a year, that and maybe three glasses of wine a year. That's it. So I don't think I'm at too much risk now.
Well, I drink alcohol maybe once every 3 weeks to a month, and
hmm
it's limited to maybe a couple of glasses of wine, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So,
I was I was fortunate that I grew up with parents who didn't drink.
mhm,
Not that they were anti-alcohol. My dad would have a beer very occasionally. My mother, glass of sherry 2 or 3 times a year. They didn't have any booze at home, so I wasn't brought up in that environment of seeing people drinking regularly. So it
right.
was good. Yeah, enough about my drinking habits. I'm just grateful that I was not exposed to alcohol as a youngster. I never really got hooked on it. I've seen too many cases where people did, and uh, never mind the cancer, just all round disastrous consequences, right?
True enough. True enough.
Anyway, Kathleen, so thanks for that. That is really interesting. And one point that you made there, very few people are aware of that link. I wasn't aware of that link
No,
at all until you mentioned it. So,
right.
wow.
Right.
Now,
And
do you want to go into your health topic? Or sorry, you got something else on that?
well, no, I was just going to go right into a little plug for Dr. Morse's Heal All Tea.
Yeah. All right.
And
Right.
so I know that we both take this,
Yep.
and it's a very earthy blend, but it's actually lovely. It's very pleasant taste. It's a loose tea that you would steep for about,
hmm
what is it, 7 minutes, Peter?
7 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. And it's great for general overall body's natural detoxification process. It's formulated with butcher's broom for circulatory support,
hmm
black walnut and golden seal to promote the unwanted organisms in the gut, and also white oak and mullein to astringe interstitial fluid and promote lymphatic flow. So really, it's great for just overall detoxification. It's a wonderful blend to just have on a daily basis. So
Yep. And
again, heal all
as
tea.
as Kathleen says, it tastes quite. I find it tastes very pleasant. I don't have a problem with the taste at all. So we enjoy it. Good. Well,
And we
thanks
will
for that.
provide a link to that product in this video. And the also to remember is if you go to Dr. Morse and want to place an order, if you put in Yakking Show, all one word, into the discount code, you will get a discount.
That's right. We'll put those links in for you. Good. Thanks for Kathleen. All right. Let's tell you what's been happening on the show for the last couple of weeks. Well, last week we published our episode with Scott Bucco, who is the um, brain mechanic, and he helps people recover from the effects of traumatic brain injury. And on his website, incidentally, I was checking something on his website. He fractured his skull in three places. I'm not sure how, maybe car accident, but that was his serious brain injury. Very good episode. If you or anyone you know has suffered a stroke or any form of brain injury, you want to watch this episode because he gives hope and he helps a lot of people recover to a greater or lesser extent from the limitations of traumatic brain injuries. The next Tuesday, we will have Thea Trussler all the way from Ireland, and her program is training companion dogs, not rescue dogs, companion dogs. And she trains companion dogs and introduces them to the people who need help. And that could be for things like ADHD or autism or certain other debilitating conditions. And she gave the story of a little dog, which was actually a mongrel from a shelter, I think, that they trained up to help this woman who had, I don't know if she had seizures, but she would end up on the floor, incapable of moving, and the dog would go and sit on her chest and lick her and try and wake her up. And then if the dog couldn't wake her up, it would run off and find her husband at the other side of the house. And some of these dogs will go and get a medicine bag and bring the pills to the owner. It's quite incredible what these dogs do. So all of that is coming up next week on the 18th in that episode. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll have my namesake, Logan Wright, from Greco Gum, talking about Greco Gum. And that's another interesting one. Greco Gum is a mastic gum, but that will be 2 weeks after Thea. And that's who's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Let's talk about our featured author. Our featured author this week is Jeff Patterson from episode 334 with his book, The Yielding Warrior, Discovering Your Path to Unleashing Your True Potential. And Jeff is a martial arts expert, and he talks about the meditative arts of Qigong and Tai Chi, and he incorporates this with his martial arts training to help you get balance in life and live a better life. And mindfulness is a really good episode. So it's all in his book, and there will be a link to his book in the description below. And as I've just said, we've got interesting guests coming up. We've got a lot more coming over the next few months. So to make sure you don't miss out, hop onto the website, theyakingshow.com, and sign up for our newsletter. Just send you one email a week telling you who's on this week, who's on next week. And I think, Kathleen, that's it for me. Back to you.
And we must also let everybody know that, you know what? We are always looking for interesting guests on this show that has some knowledge of health in some respect. Alternative health is what we're focusing on. And so if you are an expert, we want to hear from you. And once again, all you need to do is go to theyakkingshow.com, click on the contacts tab, where you will find a short application form, and we'd love to hear from you. So that's it from me. And until next week, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.